And so we begin this video at the crossroads, leaving Kentucky right into Tennessee. We are 6 miles from the Discovery Park of America. This place looks amazing. Goodbye, Kentucky. Oh my gosh, what is this place? This looks awesome. That building is like in the shape of a dinosaur or something. The Discovery Park of America sits on US 51 in Northwest Tennessee. It is open 10 to 5 Monday through Saturday. All right, I have parked. Parking was free. Out here they have something called the Great Lawn. Not just a playground, but I see a park full of historic pillars. I see a windmill out there. I see an old mill out there. And also, over here to the left, there's a historic park full of historic cabins. I'm actually coming down this hill to hide from the wind. Look at this building. From the road, it looked like a giant dinosaur. See its head up there? I think we're gonna go up there at some point. That's gonna be an amazing observation. This building looks so cool. Welcome back to the channel. Welcome if it's your first time. I'm Tampa J, and I am ultimately heading to East Tennessee, back to home today. This was en route. Looks really awesome. Not so sure what we're gonna get into. That's why you clicked on the video. I hope you enjoy this tour. Discovery Park of America is basically out in the middle of nowhere. This is Union City, Tennessee. We're gonna see what I saw, just what I saw on the internet before coming up here. I saw dinosaurs. I saw a lot of science stuff. I saw a lot of like interactive stuff. This kind of reminds me of the City Museum in St. Louis. Not that wacky and crazy, but a little like that, plus / children's museum. That's how I'm gonna set it up. We will see when we get there. We're gonna head inside here, see how much it costs and everything. I hope you enjoy the tour. I'm hoping we get to check out the Great Lawn as well. I hope that is a part of the tour. All right, there's much ahead. Let's get started. And this will show you how windy it is right now, picking up speed. It's a cool sculpture. It's made with car parts. That looks like an old piston there. You got the V8 down there. This sits before the main walkway of the Discovery Park of America, the DPOA. Oh my glory, the wind. I'm trying to block you. So there is the historic village. I'm about to lose my hat. And there's like a dam in here, a bridge. This place looks amazing. There's a giant geode right there. You see that? So there is a moat that goes all the way around the Discovery Center. There's a giant turtle right there. Hey, turtle. All right, we're out of the breeze. Once you come through the breezeway, there is a security checkpoint. There is Salin's Cafe, SALIN''S. And right here is where we pay up for our ticket. I'll break down the prices for you just in a moment. And there is the gift shop. And we will not leave without exiting through this gift shop. The mission of Discovery Park of America is to inspire children and adults to see beyond. Here are the founders, Jenny D. Kirkland and Robert F. Kirkland. All right, general admission is to the left, $29.99, $16.99 youth. That's ages 4 through 17. That's pretty good. Adult VIP Discovery Pass, $39.99. Enjoy general admission plus unlimited access to Cooper Tower, 10% off in the gift shop. Keepsake VIP badge, and add a second consecutive day VIP admission and perk for only $2.99. That seems like the way to go. And then the last one, you get the same thing plus access to Discovery Theater. T-Rex 3D, 1 ticket to Discovery Theater walking with dinosaurs, Prehistoric Planet 3D. Okay, so I'm not so sure what I'm getting into. I don't know if I want to watch all the presentations today, and maybe I can do some of these attractions individually without paying 30 bucks more. We'll see. Okay, thank you.
And 10% discount in cafe and gift shop.
Oh, really appreciate that. Are the additional attractions, do you have to pay for them here, or can you pay for them when you get there? How's that work?
You can pay for those here, or you can pay for those down at the tower.
Oh, okay, cool. Thank you. All paid up, no tax. $39.99. I get my souvenir VIP reflective lanyard there. That's cool. I've got a map. I'm going to hit up the restrooms, which is right around the corner, just so you know. And they have plenty of wheelchairs and strollers you can borrow as you're going through the museum if you need it. All right, guys, so just a quick look. We're going to check out everything in here. Holy cow. First of all, what is that? That is a giant person slash a slide. That's amazing. Okay, and then down here we have dinosaur skeletons. I feel like I'm in Jurassic Park right now. All right, right when you walk in, on the floor, there's an interactive display here. Let's see what happens. Okay, yeah, look, it's animated. I'm doing this. That's so awesome. Oh, now we got soccer balls. Kick the ball. Oh, cool. Okay, just kind of like step on it. Okay, this is addicting. That's so much fun. All right, that is the largest grizzly bear taxidermy I have ever seen. This thing is humongous. I think it's real. That's like a Kodiak bear. It's kind of scary, isn't it? I mean, it's terrifying. Imagine that coming at you. I think I'm gonna take this elevator and go to the bottom, and we'll work our way up. And here we are, into the dinosaurs. Oh, that's cool. I like that. And we got some art right off the elevator here. Some quilts, heritage quilt exhibition, celebrating Black history. Here's the Sun Sphere. I love all the Tennessee landmarks represented. That is the largest geode I've ever seen. That's so cool. It says that geodes are essentially hollow stones lined with sparkling mineral crystals or concentric layers of minerals. This one weighs 2,000 kilograms. It's a Brazilian amethyst geode. This is quartz. Here you go. So you can see some giant crystals coming out of that. And this is just a giant block of crystal. This is also quartz. If you like dinosaurs, we're in the right place. We've got Triceratops and Tyrannosaurus Rex in the window here. It's really cool to see like the old Tennessee cabins in the background. It's kind of the shadows right now, which it makes it even spookier. There were tropical conditions across the vast majority of the world during the Cretaceous period, when sea levels were an all-time high. Even the North and South Poles were hot and humid, warm enough to completely melt the ice caps and to be home to cold-blooded animals, a true period of global warming. Cretaceous period, not the Jurassic. And here's what they would look like if they had skin. I like how simple this museum is so far. Now, all of these fossils and skeletons are indeed replicas, but they are made with actual molds and scans of dinosaur remains. This is a foot imprint of a Tyrannosaurus Rex, one of its tracks. This right here looks very realistic. Looks like he downed another dinosaur right below him. Oh yes, and this dinosaur right here is, oh cool, Appalachiasaurus. This dinosaur is named after the Appalachian Mountains, or the Appalachian. The relative of Tyrannosaurus Rex lived in the southeastern region of North America about 79 million years ago. Unclosed bone joints are a sign that the dinosaur died before reaching adulthood. That means a fully grown Appalachiasaurus would have been even bigger. Appalachiasaurus. That's cool. I did not know there was an Appalachian dinosaur. I thought this was like a nano-tyrannus, which is an actual ultimate Jurassic Park Amber moment. Look at this. Amber, nature's time machine. Amber allows us to see exactly what prehistoric plants and animals look like. It also provides clues about general climate of the area. Scientists can study the chemical composition of air bubbles trapped inside the amber to determine what Earth's atmosphere was like when the particular tree was alive. So it's not just a myth in Jurassic Park. There is science. And the largest dinosaur here in the center of this atrium is the Apatosaurus. Its tail goes all the way over and beyond that pillar there. You may know the Apatosaurus by its other name, Brontosaurus, so same dinosaur. The first Apatosaurus was discovered and named by paleontologists in 1877. When that same paleontologist discovered he thought was a different dinosaur, several years later he named the creature Brontosaurus. It turns out that they were the same dinosaur, so that explains it right there. Apatosaurus is the same as a Brontosaurus. Again, I'm going to reference Jurassic Park again. And right behind the Brontosaurus, this is the Edmontosaurus. It's kind of in the shadows. Let me walk over here, you can see a little better. Edmontosaurus, and there behind it is a depiction of it, what it looked like when it was alive. Okay, so this is the tower, the observation tower. I do believe my VIP ticket will take me up into the tower. We will save that for last. We're continuing the journey. Here are now the sea beast, the prehistoric sea beast and creatures. All right, I'm gonna butcher this. Thankfully they have it all spelled out phonetically, so you can kind of read it there. Zifactinus. Zifactinus. Zifactinus is gigantic and scary. Check that out. I think these are made of like steel. And then up here we've got Ceradon. Ceradon's a lot easier to say. And this is the Mosusal. I like that it has the lights flickering on the portrait behind to imitate like we're under the sea. Also, there's a little sea turtle down there to the right. There's a ton of real life fossils in here, specifically shells. That looks like a crab. And the recreation of a megalodon, the largest shark that ever existed. I have an old megalodon tooth somewhere. So far, I am really impressed with how educational, organized, how neat, how clean, and just how amazing this museum is. Are we going to go into that library? That's like a secret passageway. Culture is the widening of the mind of the spirit. That is perfect. I love that. So this display here is pinpointing the ice ages. This is the saber-toothed tiger. And then saber-toothed tiger skull or skeleton is on the skull of something called Gomphothere. Gomphothere is a strange looking creature, was a type of early elephant like mastodons. Gomotheres were herbivores with tusks. However, the Gomotheres had some very unique features, including 4 tusks and an extremely long jaw. You can see the extremely long jaw, and at the end of it, 2 of the tusks. I have never heard of that creature. I've definitely heard of the saber-toothed tiger. All right, we're getting some humanoid skulls over here. Let's take a look. Okay, so we're starting off. Let's see, this is the Australopithecus adult skull. And then second, we have young adult skull of Homo erectus. And then third, we have the Homo heidelbergensis. I think I'm saying that right. And then fourth, we have the Peking man, Homo erectus. And then 5, Old Man of La Chapelle, adult male skull, Homo neanderthal. And then we have Homo sapiens. A nice little lineage of skulls. Now, some people say that we are not in that line. Some people say that there's a missing link in between this. They look very similar to me. Alright, before we head into the secret passageway library / the culture section, I missed something over here. I think this is the sun. Discovery globe. And it is the sun. I think it's interactive, like I can play with it. Okay. Alright, wow, cool. So it changes. That's amazing. So I click on the planet and it changes to that planet. And we are currently on Jupiter. has more than twice the mass all of the other planets. It's one of the largest planets in the solar system. And then we just go back to the solar system right here, and let's click on Earth. There is some audio playing. I don't know if you can hear it. That's fun. This is a nice display of all rocks and minerals around the Earth. You can touch these, and then you can look up here and see where they are from. All right, here we go. Before we walk in, I just want to show you that they used real books. They are real books to do this. Ever After, Urban Life, pretty neat. Wow. Okay, this is cool. This is all about culture. We got something called the Chamber over here. What's that? Ooh, this is spooky. Hands on. Oh, this is like a torture chamber. So they have, oh my gosh, this is like the torture museum. So I've been to the St. Augustine Torture Museum, and also the one on Hollywood Boulevard. I did not expect one in the middle of a children's museum. This is the rack. And we've got the guillotine right here in the center. It says that France's National Assembly erected a law in 1791 that declared the mechanical decapitation as the state death penalty. Off with their head. And here are some reproductions of chastity belts. Got the key there. This is the female version. And that is the male version. And the bronze bull. This kind of is self-explanatory, but the door is not open here, but this is a door, a hinged door. You light a fire underneath and you put the person inside and let them boil in the bull. This is cool because they're simulating that we're inside like a fort or maybe a dungeon on the coast. We got waves splashing outside. And then right here it talks about witch trials in between a real stained glass window. That probably came out of a church or something. And of course it mentions the 1692 Salem witch trials, which if you're new here, my 10th great grandfather was involved with those trials. He was one of the overseers. His name, Reverend John Hale. We've got Sparky, the electric chair. This is one of the earliest versions right here. Originated in the United States and was invented by Dr. Alfred Southwick, a New York dentist. How did I not know that a dentist invented the electric chair? How did that go over my head? That makes so much sense to me. Neatly displayed all these torture devices and contraptions, handcuffs, ball and chains. This was another surprise. I had no idea I was going to see this stuff today. Here's an example of what that does. This is the Scavenger's Daughter. I don't know if that's the daughter or if that's the name of it. The Scavenger's Daughter was a device was invented by Sir Leonard Skivington and Lieutenant of the Tower of London. It would be cool to go to the Tower of London someday. I've been wanting to go there. I think of the Goosebumps episode. Last but not least, by the dungeon door, the breaking wheel. And if you look at this depiction, you can kind of understand what's going on here. Victims were tied to large cartwheels with their arms and legs stretched out. The executioner then used a metal hammer to beat the victim's limbs until broken before delivering the final death blow. Oh, man. I just realized what this was. It's the Ark of the Covenant. We got a little Indiana Jones. This is right outside of the chamber. That's so neat. So it's not in a warehouse somewhere. It's right here in West Tennessee. The story of the Ark of the Covenant comes from the book of Exodus. During the reign of Pharaoh Amenhotep, around 1445 BC, God instructed Moses to lead the Israelites of Egypt to the Promised Land. Moses and his followers were instructed to build an ark to house the Ten Commandments. As they traveled, God led the Israelites by a pillar of smoke by day and a pillar of fire by night. The replica you see here has been built in the scale described in the book of Exodus, chapter 25, verses 8 through 22. The pillar of smoke can be seen in this image. Here you go. Throughout history, claims to have possession of the Ark have been made by many throughout Europe, Africa, and the Middle East. The location of the actual artifact, however, has yet to be independently confirmed. But we know Indiana Jones found it. All right, there is so much stuff to see in here, but of course, my eyes go straight for the oddities. This is a vampire killing kit. Kits like this one were mainly produced and sold to tourists traveling to Europe, and included items such as a steak, garlic powder, and holy water. Also, as you can see, a pistol included there. It says that Professor Ernest Bloomberg and gunmaker Nicholas Plundur are the noted makers of most kits. And here is a knight in shining armor from a long time ago. Could be a Templar knight. Always got to think Indiana Jones. It says suit of armor and sword. This suit of armor is a reproduction of the Italian style of plate armor and was used in Europe from 1445 to 1460. Makes me think of Bill and Ted. We have a reproduction of the Rosetta Stone here. This is pretty neat. I've never seen one of these. That's neat. The Rosetta Stone, discovered in Egypt by Napoleon Bonaparte's troops in 1799. The stone's text was written by Egyptian priests in 196 BC and honors the 13-year-old pharaoh, I'm going to butcher this, Ptolemy V. The Rosetta Stone is so important because it provided a link for scholars to finally decipher Egyptian hieroglyphics. All right, so we exit through this door and look at this. Classic automobiles. Whoa. Holy cow. I think I see Christine right here. I did not know we were going to get a fantastic car museum in here. And Americana. Holy cow, this is amazing. So many cars in here. I'm going to start. I'm just kind of walk through. This is the Brush Roundabout. It is 1910. We have the Ford Model Ts. These are the sedan Model Ts. And then we go to the Ford Model A, 1929. Check that out. I know what that is right away. That is a Lincoln, my friend. This is a 1929 Lincoln Sport Phaeton. Rolls-Royce. I know that's a Rolls-Royce because they have one just like this at the Dali Museum, although it's called the Reigning Rolls-Royce. And there's actually a simulation of rain inside the back half of the car. And then over here, we've got a 1938 Cadillac, Series 3890, which is a Fleetwood. We've got a 1938 Lincoln Zephyr. We've got a Woody wagon here. This is so classic. This is a Plymouth Special Deluxe. I would love to drive something like this around. And check out the orange here. We've got a Chevy. This is a 1957 Chevy. And this is what I call my Eleanor right here. Although it's not Eleanor. This is a Chevy Bel Air 1957. And then we have a Cadillac Series 6200 1959. That grille should just look like the Ecto 1, the 1959 Cadillac limousine, or should I say ambulance, was used for the Ghostbusters car, the Ecto 1. So that's the same front. That's so beautiful. Same car as Christine, but it was a Plymouth. Similar body style. Almost can't tell those cars apart. So there is from the 1910s to the 1950s, and we are going all the way through the years here. We even got some vintage 1950 Harleys here. All right, I mentioned Eleanor. That's actually a 67 GT Mustang, Ford Mustang. Here's a 1965 Mustang, which was, I believe, the first year for this body style. Correct me if I'm wrong. We've got a 1957 T-Bird, Thunderbird. Oh, wow, no way. They've got a Shelby in here. 1965 Shelby Cobra. This is impressive. This is a nice museum. We got a Roadrunner here, man. We've got the Dodge Mopar Orange Roadrunner Superbird. We got the Dodge Viper. This was like the car from the 90s. They didn't make too many of these, so it's really cool to see these in really good condition. We've got a Harley Davidson racing bike. We've got a sidecar and another motorcycle. This is a 2007 Harley Davidson Electric Glide Ultra Classic. And we got the hot rod, of course, 1932 Highboy Roadster. Check it out. It says it has a 450 horsepower Hemi V8 in it. Looks pretty good. This is called the 3 Company. And you gotta look up. We've got the Wright Flyer up there. I'm assuming that's Wilbur. It could be Orville. Orville Wright. That's amazing. The first in flight. The first airplane. Alright, this is the last of the car exhibit. We have the 2007 Dale Earnhardt Jr. number 8 Budweiser car sitting right here in this museum. That's amazing. I've got goosebumps on my goosebumps. They've also got a portrait over here. Got some history of the track. This right here, this Indy car, is from March 1983. This car belonged to Bobby Rahal. I think that's how you pronounce it. My uncles would know. My dad would know if he were here because he went to the Indy 500 every year up until the early 90s consecutively. I had uncles that worked in the pit crews specifically for Pancho Carter. Can imagine they saw this car go around the Indianapolis Motor Speedway many a time. All right, all about transportation and culture, and now we're entering flight and military. We got a helicopter in here, and we got a tank, and we got a Hummer and a big bomb. High mobility, multi-purpose wheeled vehicle. Humvee, better known as the Humvee, are an iconic part of the modern U.S. military. These rugged vehicles tumble effortlessly over the world's most difficult terrains. This is the Desert Storm era chocolate chip uniform. And then right next to the chocolate chip uniform, they have a modern Marines uniform. You can see the pattern. It looks more like 8-bit to me. I've always thought it looks like 8-bit. And this is the Scorpion light tank. It says the British used these light tanks from 1972 to the early 1990s. Looks like the one that James Bond was driving in Tomorrow Never Dies. May not be, it just looks like that. Alright, so this is called Modern Conflicts, 1975 to present. They are showing conflicts through weapons. Mostly these are reproductions. They're not real. You got a Beretta right there. I don't know, that actually looks real. On second thought, they might be real. Alright, if you've seen Terminator 2, you know exactly what that is. That's a grenade launcher. It's the same one that Arnold uses. That's the M79 grenade launcher. It says they used it from 1961 to 1971. Okay, all of these say reproduction, so they're not. And number 7 is an M60 machine gun. I'm thinking of Missing in Action, Chuck Norris, and also First Blood, Sylvester Stallone, Rambo. We got live demonstrations on video of each of the weapons as you're walking through these cases. Shooting the caliber 5.56 M16. And there it is to the left. And these are the weapons of the Korean War. I was just showing you the weapons from Vietnam. 1950 to 53, my great uncle did 3 tours in Korea. He was a tank commander. I can only imagine he used some of these weapons. I remember him saying that he had a Thompson 45 caliber. And here is a Korean War era uniform, U.S. Army. Looks like Forester. Private Forester there. So in all of these cases right here, are military worn uniforms. They're real. They were actually worn by veterans right in front of the helicopter. And then look over here, dude. Oh my glory. This museum is so impressive. And we've only seen the first floor. We're not even to the second floor yet. It looks like we can actually climb inside of the helicopter. I'm gonna wait my turn here. All right, so this is, let's see, a UH-34D helicopter used in the Korean War and Vietnam. This actually saw battle. Now you gotta duck in here. All right, yeah, just to hold a few Marines. Check it out. All right, so we can pop our head up into the cockpit, which they would have been above the rest of the people right here in the hull of the helicopter. Pretty cool to think this actually flew over Vietnam and Korea. Kind of hard to see, but this is the cockpit. This is the right seat. The seat's actually like right here. I think I can pop you up in there. There you go. I'm peeking through a hole at my monitor right here. See me? That's the best I can do. That's so cool. Look forward to watching this back. And they even have stuff on the outside. We're invited to walk out to Stem Landing and continue the rest of this exhibit. They've got a Huey out there. All right, so I'm gonna head up these stairs to the second level. I'm glad I started in the bottom. This is working out really well. All right, so check it out. We got a nice view of the Wright Flyer up here. I've been to the Wright Museum in my hometown, Newcastle, Indiana. Actually, technically Milton, Indiana, Henry County, where Orville Wright was born, right down the street from where I was. We are continuing military here. Wow, there's even more. All right, we're actually going back in time. We started in Korea and Vietnam, and now we are in World War II. This whole room is World War II history. It's a documentary over there in the theater. There's some sailors' uniforms. Also another bomb here. And check this out. This is a signal light from a naval ship. The U.S. Navy used a signal light and the searchlights similar to this one on its ships during the Korean War. And just like we saw downstairs for Vietnam and Korea, the weapons of World War II. Flamethrower, which are outlawed today. Those are so dangerous. If a bullet hits that, you know what's going on. I'm thinking of Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, one of my favorite scenes. I got it with the flamethrower. So that is the M1. That is the rifle, the standard issue rifle of the United States military in World War II. And then right next door, right there, that looks real. That is actually the Japanese Series 9 Arisaka bolt action rifle. Now we're coming across the room to World War I. Here are some of the earliest machine guns. This one's on casters. It's on a cart. And the uniform of the doughboy, the United States soldier. Got the helmet there. And the Springfield bolt action rifle. That is not a replica. That is also used in World War I. It's a really nice display. This is one of the most amazing military museums I've ever been into. Over there, over there. And this is what it was like to be in a naval ship during the Civil War. It's a recreation, not the same thing. River blockade chain, Battle of Belmont. So we just kind of worked our way backwards here into level 2 as far as walking through the military history of the United States and the rifles of the Civil War. The only thing that's real and not a reproduction in this case is this right here. As you can see, it's seen better days. This was a Colt Model 1860 Army revolver. It was found on a battlefield. Doesn't say where. We came up the stairs, we walked through World War II, I, the Civil War, and now we enter Native Americans. So yeah, this is the start of military. We just went backwards. This is neat. It's kind of representing like a fire at some points. It's right here in the center. You got a storm going.
Which grew on a distant island, seemingly out of reach for the animals of the universe.
It's a hologram.
The animals recognized the potential of the gift that the mighty Thunder Twins had given.
Myths and storytelling. Okay, so it's telling Native American myths and stories. I like the eagle sounds here. They got the recreation of a cabin here with all these pelts. This is talking about trading land. It says it right here. Cherokee Nation of Indians. It shows all of the areas of trade. As time went on, Native Americans became more and more dependent upon European trade goods. The American government encouraged traders to allow Native Americans to trade on credit and go into debt. Once they had incurred an impossible amount of debt, Native Americans were often given the option to trade away their land as a payment for their debt. This made it easier for the U.S. government, non-native landowners, and others to obtain precious lands from the tribes. Native American culture is just as varied today as it was hundreds of years ago. Different tribes celebrate their heritage and commemorate their struggles in different ways, whether through storytelling, traditional rituals, art, and educational programming. Contemporary Native Americans express their cultural identity in unique and diverse ways. And I grew up with a grandfather who was an expert and loved Native American artifacts. He knew all about them. He made a career of buying, selling, and trading, and being part of geological expeditions. So I really appreciate. So the other day I was referencing that trip I took with my grandpa down Route 66 to Tulsa. We were headed to a convention. He was selling Native American artifacts and trading them. And on the way there, we stopped at the Cahokia Indian Mounds in St. Louis. And these are items that were said, or replicas, to be from that era. So really cool how it all tied in together right here real quick. Hernando de Soto. I know a lot about this man because I am from the Tampa Bay area. Hernando de Soto had a lot to do with exploring and discovering the first native tribes in Florida, specifically the Tampa Bay area. And right here it talks about his travels, kind of shows you on the map. This is where he entered, and he named the original name of Tampa Bay the Bay of the Holy Spirit. And it looks like he traveled all the way up through Georgia, South Carolina, North Carolina, through the Smoky Mountains, kind of went through Knoxville right there, around the Cumberland Mountains, came all the way down here through Alabama, Mississippi, and then back up in here, kind of in this area, around Arkansas, and then down eventually into Texas. And check this out, he backtracked and came out and went along the coast. In May 1539, the explorer named Hernando de Soto landed in what is now Florida. From there, he began a 4,000-mile journey of exploration and bloodshed that would alter the course of history on the continent. The Spanish crown had sent him to find massive stockpiles of gold or a route to the Pacific Ocean. He brought a force of over 600 soldiers, craftsmen, clergy, as well as a sizable herd of pigs with him on his journey. Although the expedition was a failure, its impact is difficult to understate. The introduction of horses, metal tools, new weapons, and European diseases brought about a dramatic turning point for the native people of this country. All right, this is cool because this Native American is using what my grandfather taught me and gave one to me, a reproduction. He's using what is called an atlatl. Basically, you have this stick right here, and then you put the arrow here, and you go like this, and it shoots straight as an arrow. And they've got a reproduction of a native using the atlatl into a buck right here. He's trying to get this deer. Oh wow, check it out. A giant mastodon sculpture. And then behind me, the earthquake simulator. There is so much to this museum. It's taken me an hour just to walk through this part. I might skip that. I will definitely be back. There's stuff here I'm not going to get to today. I underestimated the size of the museum. Never underestimate the size of the museum. Well, oh my glory, there he is. David Crockett, king of the wild frontier. Yep, he's my cousin. You know, I had to say it. So yes, William David Crockett was my great-grandfather, which was Davy Crockett's grandfather of 9 or 10 generations ago for myself. So yes, Davy Crockett is my cousin. And on the backside of the Davy Crockett portrait, they have a 48 caliber musket or rifle. This was a replica of Davy Crockett's rifle here. Check it out. See it better without the glare. They've got a button you can push. Here you go.
David Crockett is widely known for his heroic death at the Alamo, and less for how he lived. For the majority of his life, this amazing man lived on the edge, and that's almost all he knew how to do. In the 49 and a half years David Crockett lived on this planet, he embodied the spirit of the true pioneer. Indeed, a man well acquainted with adversity, he suffered great losses and terrible setbacks while attempting to capture that elusive dream of a better life for all who were part of his. Not surprisingly, his single mission eventually became that of public service. He worked to provide affordable land prices to the very pioneers who had first ventured west, those who scratched into the land a foothold for the civilization that would follow, all the while burying their friends and family along the way.
All right, I wandered into an aquarium here. Check out the turtle here. Oh wow, I didn't think I was gonna see live animals today. All of the turtles. This is, oh, a salamander. There's a salamander in here. Where's it at? Where's the salamander? All right, not only is there turtles, there are snakes in here too. I am just blown away. There's also a whole thing on hunting and fishing. That's probably why Davy Crockett is at the beginning of this display. There are a lot of weapons in this museum. A ton of weapons. These are real. And this right here is a conservation experience. A little production here, a documentary. It's really relaxing, really. You can sit here in the rocking chair and watch. Hear the bird sound. We've got some antique fishing lures. My grandpa also collected antique fishing lures. Got some reels over here. History of lumberjacks. And again, same grandpa was also, he owned a timber company. I think my grandpa was the ultimate man's man. I'm just learning that. No, I always knew that. One of my greatest heroes. Both of my grandpas. My biggest heroes. All right, so I popped out. We are back on the main level where we started. Went down the elevator. We're gonna head up to the escalator next, but check this out. Closer to this humanoid slide. I don't know if I'm allowed to go down it, but I sure will try. It might be too big. That is one of the most amazing slides I've ever seen. Looks like you go pretty quick down it. Pretty slick slide. Check out the giant cattails over here. He's holding a ball or a globe. Escalator. Oh boy. I feel like I'm in a mall now. A mall with dinosaurs. Let me know if there's one. This might be the closest thing. Space science. Space science. Ooh, I made it. You see Earth evolving around the sun? Or should I say revolving? I guess it is technically evolving as well. We've got the antique printing press here. When books changed the world. This is the Gutenberg printing press reproduction. And I remember learning about this on Spaceship Earth. Okay, this is a timeline. Now we're starting. These are a little bit dated, but this is the most modern computers and cameras. We're going backwards through the digital age. Check that out. Who had one of those? It's a Radio Shack computer. Imagine if I had to change out my bowl to film this video. That would be crazy, right? Also got some projectors down here. Oh my gosh. I still have it. I have it at home. That is my first, now I say my first, not my first video camera, but my first personal video camera was this exact Sony Handycam, which had night vision. 2000. It's the exact camera my parents bought me for Christmas. It's really cool to see it here. Sometime I'll bring it out. I've shown it before, I'll show it again. It films on high 8. This is all about communication, obviously. Got the old microphones, you got the record player, you got the telephone. A lot of these are all real, by the way. None of these are reproductions. Typewriters, radios. I just bought a radio not too long ago, just like that one, General Electric. You even got VHS in here. Check this out. I would love to have this in my collection. An original Dirty Harry VHS. Right next to the Star Trek Next Generation Laserdisc. Oh, this is awesome. I was just at Tennessee Ernie Ford's house outside of the birthplace of country music museum. And there he is on an 8-track. We've also got a Frank Sinatra CD over here. And Elvis Presley. Little 45 there for you. And of course it talks about written language, so they've got another Rosetta Stone replica up here as well. This is really cool to see this. This museum is touching on just a bit of everything and doing it well. Okay, so here is where you enter the Discovery Theater. They are currently playing Prehistoric Planet 3D and Greatest of All Tyrants T-Rex 3D. I bet that's really cool. Energy is the ability to work, and it has a lot of work to do. Whoa, where are we? Wow. Okay, this is a very interactive area. Also there are things on display. Solar race. Okay, so what do we do here? Oh, okay. You see this? I control this. Looks like we want to put it somewhere. Oh, that's neat. I don't know what it's doing, but it's fun. Oh, check this out. Okay, I've never had this much fun in my life. This is so cool. This would be a great weapon for a vampire. Oh, I did not realize what was going on there. So you control the airplanes with the light.
Yep.
So someone's using it right now, but if I were to look behind me, you shine the light on these reflectors and it gives this mechanism power, which powers the planes. So you just hit the light, you hit these reflectors and it powers the planes. Neato. I was just still having a good time blasting that thing. I don't know if I did anything, but it looked cool. Tesla versus Edison. Look at this. We've got Thomas Edison and Nikola Tesla. It says direct current electric fan. This one was made by Edison Manufacturing Company, 1890s, and then right next door, this is the Westinghouse alternating current electric fan, created between 1900 and 1920. It says Edison wanted to continue to make money from his DC-related patents. He claimed the AC power was too dangerous. Working for Westinghouse, Tesla eventually helped win the battle for AC power. Today, almost all of our electricity is distributed as AC. I just learned something new. I didn't know AC, DC. And that, my friends, is how AC/DC got their name. Indirectly. And the exploration exhibit right at the top of the slide is the most popular, perhaps because it is one of the most interactive. Whoop. Got that for you. One of the most interactive parts and wettest part of the museum. And here's where you enter the slide. Cool. Looks like you can walk out into this dome before you go down the slide. There's also like a little tunnel here. We have now walked through the 3 levels of the museum. We have done nothing outside yet, and we have to go to the observation tower. I think what I want to do is see if I can go down the fun way. I might have to take my shoes off though. I have done it. I am ready for this slide. Got my booties on. All right, this is kind of scary. I don't want to go. All right, here we go. Are you guys ready? All right, tuck in my arms. Lean him out. That is one of the scariest slides I've ever went down. That was great though. That was pretty fast.
Okay.
Yeah. I'll take a little pet. Hi, Carl. He's cool.
Yes, he's so soft. He just shed not that long ago.
Hey, me too.
Yeah.
All right, go down a slide and then pet a snake. I love this place. I just realized that slide, check it out. It kind of looks like me. It just needs a Tampa Bay Rays logo there. All right, I've been here 2.5 hours. Oh my glory. I said before I got here, this should only take what, like an hour? Hour and a half? Oh my glory, and I'm not complaining, that's amazing. There's so much here. I even missed the ducks exhibit here. We got taxidermy ducks. Cooper Tower, so it's $6.99 a la carte to go to the top. This is like the neck of the dinosaur, 13 stories, 199 feet tall, 22 seconds, 15-mile view. Check this out. Can't see past a couple levels here. All right, I think this is included. All right, I don't see anyone here, so I'm assuming I could just go up. Here we go. Ooh, that's neat. Ooh. Oh, all right. Okay. That's not the second floor, but it is the second. Get off. Hello, excuse me. Whoa. Awesome. We are in the head of a dino. Man-made. Oh, wow, there's a glass bottom floor. Whoa! That's crazy. Whatever you do, don't look down. Perfect song. Okay, remember you are on camera. Danger. Do not throw objects from tower. No horseplay, no smoking. We are invited to go outside. Holy cow. Oh my glory. That park is massive. So here's the village right here. Historic cabins. And then across the way, the mill. And then you have a walkway back here that's full of like historic pillars. It does a circle so you can walk through it too. And then we'll walk around this way first. There's the interstate. Not so busy right now. This is amazing. This is just as tall as the Sun Sphere in Knoxville. Maybe taller. Oh, another glass floor here. Oh wow, airplane down there. Oh my glory. That is terrifying. Oh! Holy cow, the wind! Dude, as soon as you go around that corner, the wind is coming from the southeast. Okay, I might have to take my hat off. All right, it's very windy. You don't want to get too close to the rail. That looks like Epcot down there. That's one of the observation theaters. There's even more over here. Okay, so that's the military portion and the car museum that pops out. They've got a binocular over here. Oh my gosh, this wind is fierce. Look at this view. This is a beautiful day. It's just windy. And here on the other side, they've got more going on. Like a covered bridge out here, a river, a lake, a church. I see a train station. There's a train station down there. All right, the wind got so strong right there, I had to come in here. This is the staircase. Okay, so there is a staircase to get out. Okay, I'm gonna go out on this side. Wind should be better. Okay, that's much better. Much better on this side. Yeah, oh my gosh, yeah. You can see how windy it is. They might want to close this up here for right now. I'm just saying, there's some people that can't do this. Don't look too long, don't think about it. Oh man. Discovery Center is the largest building among Discovery Park of America's entire 50 acres, resembling a giant white sculpture placed in the middle of the park. Robert Kirkland, benefactor, requested a design that would stop traffic at 70 miles per hour, referring to those traveling along the future Interstate 69. That's impressive. So this is Interstate 69 right here. I didn't realize that 69 goes all the way up through Indiana. Right near where I grew up. And don't worry, there is a restroom at the top. Barbara Lynn Tanner Cooper Tower, 2014. They had a bridal show out here, a posh bridal show. Celebrating 250 years of independence. They're gonna have a 4th of July celebration, it looks like. Also, the Tennessee Cruisin' Nationals Car Show will be here September 25th through 26th. October 23rd through 24th, David Crockett Homestead and Bluegrass Festival. Okay, so to enter the outside exhibits, or to exit to the outside, you go through here. Board of Directors in portrait form. All the directors and former directors on this side of Discovery Park America. All right, we exit underneath this walkway. That's the main walkway that we walked up over the moat. There's the turtle. Underneath the bridge, check this out. Gargoyles. Maybe they're like trolls underneath the bridge. We're gonna go this way. Oh my glory. There's so much out there. It's another one of these wind sculptures, sailboats and whale. Also, I see an octopus in there. This is called the settlement. Welcome to the settlement. Check this out. We were just up there. Someone's ringing a bell over there at the schoolhouse. We will get there. We're walking in a circle, clockwise. All right, from this right here, look at this. We got log cabins, and then we got that, and then we got an airplane. From right here, if you take a screenshot, you're gonna be like, where the heck is he? I don't know, where the heck am I? Where am I? I'm in the village. This has gotta be the blacksmith shop, right? Definitely looks like a barn of some sort. You've got 2 swords sticking out of the ground here. You've got stained glass in the handles. Sun really beams through it. All right, so on the door over here, it says this is the Roosevelt cabin. President Theodore Roosevelt and the Maltese Cross cabin. It says that between 1858 and 1919 was one of the most powerful voices of history of American conservation. Discover what ignited his lifelong passion for preserving America's natural heritage, and the tribute exhibit to Roosevelt and his Maltese Cross cabin. It's a rifle right off the bat. Boone and Crockett Club. Leader of the Boone and Crockett Club, Mr. Theodore Roosevelt, Teddy Roosevelt. And there is a rifle. Oh wow, that's really nice. It says it right there, Boone and Crockett Club, established 1887. There he is on the mantle. This is all about Teddy Roosevelt. The early start of Theodore Roosevelt. Really neat. While on a 1902 bear hunting trip in Onward, Mississippi, Roosevelt's hunting party cornered a black bear, tied it to a willow tree, and suggested that the president shoot it. Roosevelt considered this extremely unsportsmanlike and refused. Political cartoonist Clifford Berryman heard the story and drew a cartoon celebrating the president's decision for the Washington Post. A Brooklyn, New York candy shop owner named Morris Mitchum saw the cartoon and created a stuffed toy bear in honor of Roosevelt. Hence the name Teddy Bear. There's that depiction right there. Please watch your head. Yeah, you don't want to hit the... Oh, you don't want to hit the horns. Gotta watch your eye too. That was cool. There's a lot of history in there to read, of course. I just showed you the highlights. They could make a killer Halloween event out here. You could make this all like a haunted maze and put some scare actors. Giving you ideas. Oh, we got a bird observation area. They got decoys hanging here. Ducks on the pond. Oh, look at this. There is a ton of ducks right here. Okay, I think they're all fake. Which one is the real duck? Which one is real? Can you figure it out? Go ahead and say. Okay, I see a real bird, but it's not a real duck. It's not a duck at all. Look at that. There's like an egret and some turtles on the bank. I'm anxious to get over to the mill. I wonder if they're making cinnamon bread in there. Well, I'll be. Look at that. Statue of Davy Crockett. That's cool. Didn't expect this. So they do have a David Crockett Heritage Week here. I can imagine it's out here amongst this historic 1800s Tennessee village, early 1800s. Now that's a chrome horse right there. I'm pretty sure we could get up here. They're not saying not to. You want to ride the horsey? That might be warm on a hot summer day. That would burn your biscuits. It's actually pretty warm right now. Oh, don't look into the eyes of the chrome horse. That's really cool. I've never seen anything like that. Got a nice little garden growing out here. They have planted so many things. Marigolds, mustard seed, madder, peanuts, potatoes, turnips, beets, radishes, indigo, cotton, flaxseed. All right, there's a bunch of cabins I did not go into, obviously. You could do a whole video on just this village right here. All right, it just got bigger. There's an agriculture center over here. There's an agriculture museum in this red barn. I love me some tractors, especially Farmall International Harvesters. Check out this rig here. This is awesome. This is some sort of a combine. I've never seen one quite like this. All right, I didn't even see this from the tower. Check it out. Dude, this is amazing. I'm gonna say that word a lot. Oh, we got the old Ford here, and we've got like classic neon signs in here. 1960s Massey Ferguson combine. You can even climb into a big tractor over here. This is a Case International Harvester. Case Magnum 325. This is a giant block of cotton. Oh my gosh. You know what? That's really heavy. All compressed like that. I would have never guessed that. And this is all about innovation and nutrition, education. They've got a wall full of nutritionists up here. That's pretty neat. Talks about life-saving science, botany. What is GMO? You got Henry Wallace of hybrid corn. I would say that the purpose of existence here on Earth is to improve the quality and abundance of a joyous living. And I'm going home to Chris the girl and Bella tonight. I'm excited. Here's Bella right here. It looks like Bella. It says there are 350 different dog breeds. Man's best friend. And it all came from the wolf. Old MacDonald had a farm. E-I-E-I-O. And on that farm he had food, fuel, and fiber. And he had to go. All right, they have more International Harvesters Case tractors over here. Brand new ones on display. You have to walk over here. There's not really a pathway. Just got to walk over here and see it. But they have a greenhouse. All right, I don't know if we're allowed in here, but I'm peeking in. I don't see a door. Okay, yeah, this is an active greenhouse, 2 of them. Now this reminds me of my grandma and grandpa's greenhouse. They had it for over 40 years. I've shown it before, years ago. This always makes me think of grandma and grandpa. Hard the wind, I-69. Whoa, hold on to the hat there. They've got vineyards out here. They've got everything. This is like the greatest roadside attraction of all time. All right, almost to the mill. The music has changed. I hear like ragtime 1920s turn of the century music. Can you hear it? It's very faint. There's also an airplane going by. Here's the schoolhouse where we can ring the bell. This is an actual schoolhouse built around 1890. It has been restored and moved here, of course. Gotta do it. Oh wow, they must have been rich. They got a two outhouse, a tour to take a tour. They got the corn cobs. At least they don't have the 3 seashells. You know, I had to look. I wonder if anyone went there. Yeah, I'm not gonna wash my hands. All right, we're invited to go into the Hugh Wade feed store. It's open. Oh wow, it's a candy shop. And it's a gift shop slash feed shop slash candy shop. Got all kinds of souvenirs in here for you. Discovery Park Vineyards. Okay, so you actually use the stuff to make the products from here? That's pretty neat. What's a roadside attraction in Tennessee without your Pioneer coonskin hat there. I used to have one of these when I was a kid. All right, we got a stable and the mill. Love the music. This looks new. Looks like they just built all this. All right, just missing the smell of cinnamon bread. Got the grinding stones here. Also, they've got a documentary going, a tutorial.
Everything's set. We're ready to engage our gear train. By doing that, we need to align the jaw couplings. So Rob's going to rotate
explaining how to work the mill.
The large spur wheel until we're in alignment.
They're aligning the sprocket, which is right there. He's actually sitting right over there. He's putting that into place there. Although there is a giant duct here, it's fake. There is a water pipe at some point between here and the wheel. And right there you can see that inside it is not engaged right now. If it was, all the mechanisms would be turning and they would be operating the mill. Pretty self-explanatory. We have we have not even got through halfway of this side. That's amazing. There's still more out that way. The wind! I wonder if that's coming off the Mississippi. It is fierce. So check this out. We've got a walkway through a bunch of pillars. I wonder if there's any pillars of salt out here. Also, I see like a tree house or an observation kind of tower over here. So a column is a form of architecture that has existed since ancient times. Classical architects established various orders that laid out the guidelines for style and proportion. This is breaking down the Doric, the Ionic, the Corinthian, Tuscan, and composite. I remember learning about columns in history class. It's fascinating. I'm into columns. All right, I'm walking out from the Tuscan columns. Check this out. This looks like it's right here. I about said it. The Japanese garden. Whoa. Oh my gosh. The secret Japanese garden. The cherry blossom tree. Alright, this is tranquil. Right when I say that, the wind kicks up. Okay, this is beautiful. Amazing. Chris would love this. I sent her pictures. Planning on coming back here someday with Chris. This is peaceful. Zenful, I should say. Got the waterfall here. Got the music. Flute music. If it wasn't for the road noise. Got a nice little lanai over here. There's koi fish in there. Of course there's koi fish in there. It's a big one. Got more over here. Look at this. Alright, this is by far one of my favorite parts. The music is strong over here. We exit the Japanese garden. I am a new man. That felt great. That was relaxing. I meditated for a little bit. Alright, so in the British garden, they have the tower playing some very classical music. I don't think I'm going to go up in the tower. I did one tower today. Gotta save some stuff for next time. So we're gonna head back up. There's a whole nother half to this park. Crazy. And we're walking straight into the wind, fair warning. When I close my eyes and think of a church, I think of something kind of like that. Check out the X up here. Something made an X in the sky. The church. I wonder if the doors are open. This is the New Chapel Methodist Church, established 1852. I don't know if you can make it out, but it says it right there. There's a sign. All right, let's see if the doors are open. Yeah. Ooh. Ooh. Got it all to ourselves. Got the gospel playing. That stained glass is beautiful. This piano back here. Look at that. Jesus. In memoriam, Dr. Meredith Carroll, 1811-1888, donor of church and cemetery land, 1852. It feels good in here too. This church is air conditioned, just in case you come in the summer. Might be a cool spot. Take a load off, keep cool, and pray. Something out there called the Square of Freedom, and then over this way is the train station. Again, where am I right now? Where am I right now? Never seen a place like this. All right, we're invited to push this signal. Whoa! That shocked me. That startled me. I didn't expect that. That was cool. We've got the Gulf Mobile and Ohio train car. I'm going to climb up on that platform. They've also got like a railroad car up here. Forrest Rail. Confederate General Nathan Bedford Forrest. Hey, that's Forrest Gump's great-great-great-grandfather. Something like that. It says Confederate General led his troops in a raid on Union-controlled railroads. So Confederate General Nathan Bedford Forrest was hoping to disrupt Union General Ulysses S. Grant. Here's a picture right here. This is what his troops would do to the tracks. Displayed here is what is believed to be one of the 1862 bent rails on loan from Thomas Hester. It was recovered from an old creek bed next to the former railroad track leading from the Union City to Gardner Station in Tennessee. So this is one of the real-life rails that Forrest Gump's great-great-great-grandfather destroyed in the Civil War. It's pretty cool that you can touch it. We're gonna start here and work our way back. I'm actually gonna climb up on the platform around the corner and see what we can do. It looks like we can get inside all of these train cars, and specifically this engine right here. Reminds me of the one from Back to the Future 3. And if you get that fire hot, and I mean blazing hot as the fires of hell, I think that's what he says, something like that, you can get this baby pushing 90. Wow. Okay, I don't know if we can go. Oh yeah, we can go in here. And I think this is a 1963 first class car. Let's see. You can make a movie up here. It's like a movie set. Okay, that's not open. I'm sure we can get in at some point. 1913 460 steam engine. Love the sound. Whoa. Okay, this is really nice. It's all seized up for obvious reasons, but all of the gizmos, the gadgets, the mechanisms are here in place. Check out those giant springs. I have no idea what that does. Oh, here's the horn. No way! I think it's broken. It's making a little bit of noise. Alright, so one way in, one way out. We can go all through this train car, I think. Yes. Holy cow, there's no one in here but me. There could be some ghosts. Looks like we have the bar and dining car here. I'm just gonna let this roll. This is gonna be fun. It does have AC. What's this? This might be the lavatory. It's locked up. Into the next car. Here's something. We're not alone.
As this was the junction of two very popular railroad lines. In fact, the town's founder originally wanted to call the area Junction City, but since the name was already taken, it was decided that Union City would be the next best choice.
It's got the whole history going for you. Oh yeah. I've never taken a train before. Looks like we're going through the galley or the kitchen. Alright, here's the hallway past it. We're going in. Oh my gosh. I would have paid 40 bucks just to walk through this. Locked up. Got the gas stoves. Makes sense they would have gas on a train. Oh, it's kind of like the carts on an airplane. Thinking I'm under siege 2 right now. I don't know. What are we on the third car or the fourth car? I lost count. Personalarium. Locked up. Alright, in between cars. Alright, maybe we can't go this far. Yeah, we can. Ooh. Oh, there's a big wasp in my face. I'm not cutting that. Alright, we're in. This is Till 1 class. Alright, now I feel like I'm going to Hogwarts. Check it out. Hogwarts Express. All aboard! I feel like I'm in Silver Streak too. Love that movie. There's another one. Wow, yeah, this is definitely first class. Very wide. This is the last train car.
And relax a while, or walk from car to car. And
we could if we wanted to. Although the
the
AC is broken here, it's a little stuffy.
As you walk the length of the cars on this track, you'll see why train travel became a comfortable and sometimes glamorous way to get from town to town
all the way through.
or across the whole country.
All right, let's see if we can get out here. Might have to walk all the way back through. Okay, that's locked. Let's see if we can get out here. Oh yes, we just can't enter this door, but we can exit it. We walk all the way down. That took what? 3 minutes. It wasn't too bad. And one last train car. The one on the end. I've walked through many of ones just like this. There's so many of these type of train cars fixated in small town America on display at local heritage museums, living history museums. I've never seen one this nice. We've got a wood burning stove there. All right, we made it to the depot. Hello. Whoa. That's here. Check out these old portable two-way radios. There's a handheld right there. General Electric. Let's talk about communication in the railroad station. You've got some Westinghouse air brake gauges down here. Here's a rail jack, in case you needed to jack up a train. It talks more about Forrest's raid. Kind of looks like Tom Hanks. All right, there is one more portion of this park out here. It's across the lake over here. Over that way, who knows what we're gonna find. Okay, I feel like I'm about to cross the Sleepy Hollow Bridge here. Waiting for the Headless Horseman to come. Welcome to Freedom Square. Can imagine when they have their 4th of July celebration. This is going to be a very active area. All right, check it out. Ronald Reagan, the actor. I did not think I was going to see Ronald Reagan right off the bat here. This is a really nice statue of him. President of the United States. 1981 to 1989. Born 1911. And then right next to Ronald Reagan, we have Thomas Jefferson. Another really good statue. Born in 1743, died in 1826, President of the United States. 1801 to 1809, so 2 terms. And he is pointing, check this out, Cobb's Drug Emporium. We got a general store and a firehouse, and also some more statues and a memorial over here to this county's servicemen and women. And this is the Greek god, the Titan, Prometheus. It's a cool sculpture. Titans were deities that existed before the Olympian gods, and Prometheus was known as the protector and the benefactor of mankind. Oh, nice. They got a vending machine in here. And they got some sodas. And it feels good. They got AC. It's recreating an old soda fountain. They even got the wooden cigar Native American over here. Ayn Rand, Russian-American novelist, philosopher, playwright, and screenwriter. Rand is known for her two best-selling novels, The Fountainhead and Atlas Shrugged, and developing philosophical systems called objectivism. Got the firehouse. There is an active fire alarm right there. It might be active. I'm not going to pull it. I wonder if anyone... Okay. Don't do it. I kind of want to do it. Am I supposed to do it? Nothing happened. That's good. All right. Antique fire equipment. Check out these engines. I used to work for the fire department. This is always cool stuff to see. They even got the recreation of the poles here. The staircase. Thought I heard something. Did you hear that? Maybe this firehouse is haunted. Got some PPE here. I used to fit firefighters for this type of gear. This is what they call a bunker jacket or a bunker coat. They've got their SCBA down here. Got their boots. Got their pants there, their suspenders. I used to issue all of this stuff to firefighters. There's the helmet. There's an old Motorola radio, which I have one like that. It's like the old Ghostbusters radio. Here's a hydrant wrench. It's a 2.5 wrench there. I used to hand out stuff like this. This is a Fire Dome 2 fire helmet, 1900. It's a really old helmet. So, as you can see, those bay windows are not as wide as these fire trucks right here. So they had to bring both of these trucks through this back bay door. So we had one of these in our fire department. This is so you can educate firemen on how a hydrant works. So right here is the 2.5. No matter what you open here, the water is going to pour out. But up here, you take a hydrant wrench counterclockwise, and it opens up the valve. So the valve is actually down in there. So the water is actually below the fire hydrant. You take these off, and then you undo the valve to allow the water to flow out all of these holes. So the water, if you want to keep this one on and just open these two, or vice versa, or just only one, you just keep the caps on. So this is how you open the actual valve up here with the hydrant wrench. All right, Mr. Lincoln. Last but not least, this is going to be the last building I walk into, besides going back to the main one. Welcome to Liberty Hall. Oh wow, no kidding. They've got a replica of the Liberty Bell. Okay, that's amazing. Wow. Okay, so we've got Tanner. We've got 1776. We've got Theater. Everett. And look at this. Crockett. This is really neat. Check this out. The rotunda. Someone's like, show the bell. Well, here you go. I've stood next to the real one a couple of times. And this year will mark the 250th anniversary of this country. Pretty amazing. Welcome to Crockett country. So this is my first time really exploring the west side of Tennessee. I was just out in Memphis. I actually traveled to get there through Alabama, Mississippi, so I've never really been up in this area, and I look forward to coming back and checking out more of my David Crockett ancestry history. Gotta go to his last home in Tennessee too, in Rutherford. This whole room is devoted to the life of Davy Crockett. This is a really neat David Crockett museum, the Lion of the West. I am at liberty to vote as my conscience and judgment dictate to be right, without the yoke of any party on me. David Crockett. All right, we're gonna go over to 1776. Oh wow, these are portraits. These are beautiful portraits. An amazing art display. Check this out. This is the death of General Warren. at the Battle of Bunker Hill, June 17th, 1775. This might be the most famous. Washington crossing the Delaware. Reproduction, of course. 1851. Make a selection on the screen to your right. Okay, so you have options in here. You can choose to watch The Wilderness Road, Spirit of a Nation, or Daniel Boone, The Westward Movement. Gateway to the West. I bet it's really good. So this is a local politician by the name of John S. Tanner.
John Tanner supported the McWhorter Roads program, which is bringing you
Founder of Blue Dog Coalition, a group of fiscally conservative Democrats within the U.S. House of Representatives. There you go.
John Tanner for Congress.
John Tanner for Congress. All right. And this is one of his desks here. Right. That was fun. What's this do? Whatever it does, it doesn't work. This thing doesn't work. Okay. Now the bell's ringing. Someone got it going. I was a little one-handed. Goodbye, dinos. Goodbye. There's the grizzly bear. And here is the gift shop. They got plenty of knickknacks for you. Okay. That's a cool shirt. You can get that. I know, I didn't think it was that big either. It's huge. I'm talking about the museum. That's a cool shirt. That was one of the greatest stops ever. This place is massive. It's amazing. Come check it out. I hope you liked the video. I am just blown away. That is the best 40 bucks I ever spent. Although I probably could have paid the bottom tier because I didn't do half of the presentations, but I did get this, did get a souvenir, so that's cool. And if I wanted to buy something else in the gift shop, I got a 10% discount, which I did not do. Oh well, now you know. The fountain. All right, guys. Know you're awesome, know you're loved, and no matter who you are, no matter what you're going through, just know that there's always much ahead. Appreciate you guys being here. Thanks for sticking to the end. Feel free to give the video a thumbs up and subscribe below if it's your first time. I'll be back very soon. I'm gonna be on the road for quite a bit. I'm going home tonight. I've got a 6-hour drive, and then I'll be back on the road in a few days. But there will be a video tomorrow, so hope to see you there. Bye. See you next time. It's over. It's a long video. All right, 4 hours later and several hundred miles. Bonus features. In and out. Lebanon, Tennessee. I was here on its grand opening day. That was December 10th. Wow. This is beautiful. The sun setting behind In and Out. This is my dinner. Just under 3 hours from my home in Knoxville. Double double Tennessee trouble. It's so good. Good night, everyone. Bye-bye.